Welcome back, everybody. This is Kerry Porter coming to you live from West Caldwell, New Jersey. We're actually in Bonnell Field at Caldwell High School, the Legends of the Chiefs, as we like to call it. They are on a hot streak, as we can say. They are currently 28 and 0. Goes back to the middle of the 2020 COVID year season, where they have went on they won out 6-3 for that season, and then went 12-0 the following season, winning the state championship there, and then for the first time ever winning not only the sectionals, but the division and the regionals. But they won the group last year as well. So they are now the undisputed champs at the Group 2 level in North Jersey. In North Jersey Section 1, I believe that is, or Section 2?
Section 2, Group 2. Yes.
Section 2, Group 2. Right in front of me right now is Todd Romano, head coach of the Chiefs, and I am so pleased to have you here. We actually had one of your players as our most impactful player. He's off to Hamilton College right now.
Curzum, one of the best.
Yeah, Luke Curzum. He is the one of the best. I saw him affected a couple games when I was at your games.
Affected all of them.
Impacted all of them. The first one I saw was when you guys played against Hanover Park, and I looked at it. I was like, "Oh, I did not have enough time to break out the camera or do anything else with it." I was just so amazed at how well-oiled machine you guys have. Coach, welcome to the Coach's Corner.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
And I want to know right off the bat, you're starting your title defense for the third year in a row. What is it about you guys in Legends Park here, and also in Caldwell, New Jersey? You got your surrounding neighbors to the north, which is West Caldwell. You got your neighbors to the east of you in Verona, and then you got the guys like Shabazz and Weekway coming at you from time to time. So what is it in the sauce that you guys got? What is it in the scheduling you have?
Well, I think first and foremost, we have some really good football players. That goes without saying. There's no such thing as a good program without good players, so we have that. We have the support of our administration here at James Caldwell High School, principal, VPs, athletic director, superintendent, assistant superintendent, board of education. So everybody's kind of on board with what we're doing and how we're doing it. That helps. We have a group of outstanding football coaches, guys that work really, really hard. They leave no stone unturned. That obviously helps. And then I just believe our process, the way we go about things day to day. We're very detailed about what we do. Our players, they respond to our coaching and what we have to say, and all that put together gets you a nice little run like we've got going right now.
So with that run, does it help to have a great, strong feeder system as well?
Absolutely. That's another main component. We do have a very strong feeder system in the Junior Chief organization that teaches football the right way, and that helps as well. Yeah.
And the Junior Chiefs, they're just a local program that plays within the West
Caldwell.
Yeah, West Caldwell area. Yeah. And do they play it, and do they travel, or?
They play mostly teams around this area. West Essex, Fairfield, Cedar Grove, Verona, Livingston, Belleville. Probably leave them one or two out, but they play. Those are the teams they play.
Those are the teams they have to play. Okay, great. So that gives them the fundamentals that you are expecting, and they already know when coming in as rising freshmen or incoming freshmen that you are expecting certain things out of their performances, as well as of course grades and everything else, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. So how's some of your recruits coming along?
Well, we don't recruit here.
As far as the development of your recruits going to college.
So our guys going to college.
Yeah.
It's an ongoing process. It's the recruiting business. It never ends. So we have our guys in the process, going to camps, doing what they have to do to showcase themselves in the best way they can, and hopefully something lands somewhere.
Did you all participate in the 7-on-7s?
We did. We played in the Jets 7-on-7.
Okay, and how did you guys do?
We did okay. We were missing a bunch of guys. We were competitive in all the games that we played. Record definitely wasn't acceptable. We were only 1-3, but we were missing a bunch of guys that had other other commitments to lacrosse, baseball, what have you. So,
right.
But it was definitely a good experience. We got some guys into some reps, into some real high competitive reps that is going to pay dividends coming in the fall.
So who do we have to look out for? Since you graduated your quarterback, what quarterback is next?
So right now, the projected guy is going to be Louis Anemone. He got 3 starts last year as a junior when Luke went down with a knee injury. He's looked very sharp here throughout this summer. He's getting better every day. Very athletic, versatile player. So he's going to be probably the lead dog going into camp. We also have a sophomore coming up, Nick Mignon, who's a really good player. Again, same thing. He's done some really nice things in our summer practice.
Is that the same Mignon family that that was very strong in the past as far as his father and grandfather?
Belleville.
Yeah, Belleville. Yep.
That's them. Yep.
Yeah, okay.
And there's 2 of them now. We got Mike, who's going to be a junior, and Nikki, who's going to be a sophomore.
Wow. So you got some legacies coming in.
Got some good football players.
Great. So, legendary status. I have to ask. How do you stack up against some of the legends that you have here in your Legends Park?
Me personally?
How do your programs completely stack up?
Our program? Well, I think our program right now is clicking on a very, very good level that would compete with most teams of the past. I'm biased. I think our 2022 state championship team is the best team that ever played here at Caldwell. I think there's a lot of people that agree with me in that opinion. Some people that may not, but that's just where we are. But yeah, I mean, I'm not worried about legend status or all that. We're just looking to beat Morris Catholic week 1.
Oh, see, you're jumping right into it. Let's go for it. Okay. Morris Catholic. All right, let's talk about your schedule because you got Morris Catholic at home on week 1. Pequannock and Verona are on the road. Then you got West Essex, the neighbors next door, on week 4 at home. Now, being that's more of a in-house rivalry game in a sense. How do you find yourself looking at West Essex, being that they were a Group 3 school coming to you guys, and then you were able to barely escape that game last year, 16-13, where you had an opportunity to blow it wide open at one point in time. For what I understand, I wasn't at the game, but I heard there was an opportunity to blow it wide open, but they came back and kind of kept it really close for you.
I mean, yes, that is a rivalry, Caldwell West Essex, but it's a very healthy rivalry. We have a lot of respect for what they do over there. They run an outstanding program. They win a lot of football games. They've won championships, so they do a great job with what they're doing. And anytime those 2 teams get together, it's never going to be a one-sided affair. Both teams are talented. Both teams are extremely well coached. And we just expect another good football game like it was last year.
Well, you know what, Coach? I think that's going to be the one thing that's going to have everybody marking on the schedule. As I look further into the schedule, I say, well, this is pretty much last year's schedule flipped around. And, you got Hanover Park, which you kind of easily breezed through, Madison as well, Cedar Grove, and then Mountain Lakes. Of that last half of that schedule, I think Mountain Lakes and Cedar Grove are going to be more of a problem because that's the beginning of your gauntlet.
Yeah, those are 2 definitely really good football teams. Mountain Lakes played in the Group 1 overall state championship, so they're a high-quality program. Cedar Grove's always in the mix. They're always a high-powered offense, another well-coached team. Madison, same thing. We expect a tough game against them, so we don't really look at our schedule and we give everybody proper respect, and that's the way we kind of operate.
Yeah, and the respect that you have is so high that I was so amazed when I saw you guys down at the at Rutgers last year at the championship game that you were although you were so happy to get the awards, you were still trying to pull in the Rumson, the head coach, just to say congratulations and give him a big hug because of the competition that you had.
Yeah, I mean, there's a way to do this the right way, and I feel like we try to do it the right way here and be respectful of all our opponents and things like that. So that's definitely something we shoot for.
Yeah, and thing is that I appreciate that because you don't see that too often. You got people kind of go off and get mad and throw things there somewhere.
Yeah,
so
that's not how we're made. That's not how we're built here.
That's not how you build. You go it's the right way of doing things.
Absolutely.
And I've watched Caldwell over the years even when you had your down years, and how you always kept your head high. In fact, one year in particular, I saw you guys play against Orange, and in Orange for that matter. And Orange was really on a tear at that point in time. And you wasn't sure that if you guys going to be able to pull that game out, because it was both teams needed that game in order to get into the state championships or the playoffs that year. You guys ended up going 10-2 that year, and Orange ended up missing the playoffs that year because of that game. How do you find yourself when you're stacking up against some of the best teams in the group, north to south? How do you find yourself in there?
I mean, we're a long ways away from even trying to figure out who's what in the group. You know, like I said, it's not a joke. We're looking to be 1-0 and beat Morris Catholic. And if we have our eyes down the road and looking into what a potential matchup might be, that'll take our focus off where it needs to be, which is right now where our feet are.
Oh, well, that's where you're feeding on. Morris Catholic, let's talk about them guys. You blew them out last year, 48-0, and now you're talking about, and just a little side tangent. This is a little tangent, something that I was doing as before I got here. The total score for last season was 435 to 117, right? That's an average of 33.5 to 9 on an average game.
Yeah.
All season long, all 13 games total,
Yep.
right? So you're clicking at somewhere roughly about 4 or 5 touchdowns on the first shot. I remember when I met up with you in Hanover Park, you said, "Look, we're going to put the gas metal to the pedal, and they're going to have to play our game and catch up," right? So you guys were at 35-0 before the half, and they barely scored a touchdown in the second half.
Yeah, we got out last year. We got out to a very fast start against Morris Catholic, and it just kind of snowballed and kept going. And that's one thing about that group from last year is when they had their foot on your throat, they weren't going to let it go for the most part. There were a couple hiccups along the way where we let teams hang around and get back into it. But that particular game, we thought we had a really good game plan. Kids were extremely fired up to get that season off to a good start, and they did that.
Oh, that's great, Coach. That's great. So let me just switch gears a little bit. Being that what's so special about Chief football?
Caldwell football?
Yeah.
The main thing is this entire community buys into what we're doing. They really support us. We have a really hometown feel here, and I grew up in this town. I played here, and you wanted to be a Caldwell Chief, whether you're in 4th grade, 5th grade, going all the way up.
Right.
And I think we still have that, and I think that's definitely part of our recipe for success.
Wow, because you got youngsters idolizing the high school kids, their elder brothers and sisters and so forth are here already, is coming through so it's a true family tradition.
And we get to, we see those kids. We have a youth camp we run here every summer. There were 115 junior chief kids here. We have our players there, so it's just to try to keep in contact with those guys, make sure they know we care and all that stuff. So I feel that helps us.
How does the alumni come when the kids go off to college and they they're maybe 2 or 3 years in, and those who are coming back for the summer, do they contribute as well, or how's that working out?
We, like I said, once a chief, always a chief. It's not a tagline here. That's what it is. And we welcome our guys back whenever they're in the area. We tell them, hey, if you roll into Caldwell to get a home cooked meal, you better stop by the field house and say hello. So our guys know that. Our alumni gives us tremendous support. I'm in contact with alumni that graduated back in the 80s, people that just are looking to do whatever they can to help the program, whether it's giving an inspirational talk or what have you. But a lot of people are invested in these kids and what we do here.
Well, you know what? One thing I've heard, and this is pretty true for any football program that I've gone to so far, whether it's in the urban area, whether it was way out in the sticks someplace, or even right here in the suburbs, they also have a strong tie. You mentioned the New York Jets. How is that relationship going when you work with the NFL?
I mean, they've been awesome. Truth be told, they gave me a Coach of the Week award back in the season, and from there, there were a lot of benefits and things that came our way because of that award. So we're grateful for everything that they've done for us and given to us, and we hope to continue that relationship moving forward.
Well, great, Coach. Now, here's one of the doozies I was talking about. there's a big swing and shift in the girls playing football nowadays.
Yeah,
right?
I've seen it. Yep.
Whether it's tackle football or right now is in the state flag football.
Yep.
How do you like it? How do you feel about it? As far as if there was a girl that was coming to you say, "Oh, I want to play with your squad," what would you do?
I mean, we would welcome them with open arms. It's not something that's done a lot here. We've had a female on the team in the past, and it was a great experience for everyone involved. But I do think, anything we're doing to grow the game of football and reach out and this girls flag thing that's going on, I think is really great, because those girls are going home and they're going to watch NFL Sunday and get involved more and understand it and hopefully support their hometown team on Friday night.
Well, you know that there's a couple high schools, and one in particular, Irvington's going out to the national championships out.
I believe it. The quarterback.
She's awesome, isn't it?
Incredible.
Awesome. She's awesome. She has those hips of hers was swinging left and right, and they couldn't touch her for nothing, and throwing it on a dime.
She's the real deal.
She's the real deal. So, yeah, big ups to Coach Smoke out there in Irvington. We wanted to also, I want to also fill in some other things I wanted to focus in on, was that you have an opportunity to not only expand on your record currently, but you may have an opportunity to go after the oldest state record currently, which is Bergen Catholic at 63 games. Should you decide should things happen in your way, in your favor, and you run the tables again this year, do you think that your squads will have a legitimate argument as saying it's being one of the best teams in the state?
I mean, that's a loaded question. At the end of the day, we're a Group 2 school.
Yeah.
And we have Group 2 football players. So to compare ourselves on the level with a Bergen Catholic, for example, it's a different brand of football. But having said that, we play outstanding football here, and we do think, last year, 2022, I thought we were one of the best football teams in the state of New Jersey. I thought our final ranking was very fair, and we appreciated it. But it's not a fair comparison to go Caldwell Group 2, Bergen Catholic. I would never say, "Oh, bring them down." That's not going to happen.
Them guys are, those kids are something else out there, man. What do you think about the state of high school football in the state of New Jersey right now?
I mean, I think it's in a good place right now. There's some really, really good coaches throughout this state. Over the past year, got a chance to meet and talk with a whole bunch of them. So that's a good thing. I'd like to see the younger generation get into coaching. One of the things I think in conversations with some of these guys is we don't have new coaches coming out and getting involved, and that's something that we got to address moving forward. But I think the state of the game is great. I think playing down to a group champion gave a lot of enthusiasm to the state of New Jersey. A lot of people were invested in that whole process. So right now, I think the state of our game is very, very good.
I think so too, because the fact that New Jersey was one of the last states to actually play down to a group championship at the high school level. No matter how big the school is, no matter how big the enrollments are, they were one of the few that still plays down. That were still playing down to a sectional. California, I believe, is such a big state that they are still playing at a sectional level, whereas Texas, who is just as large, playing down to groups, and they have a King of the Hill championship.
Yeah.
So, would you see that? Would you see out of with the fact that the way that the evolution is coming into the state of New Jersey, where they're playing down to a group, that you will ultimately find an ultimate playoff game type of format?
I don't see it happening because at the end of the day, we played 13 games last year, which is a lot of football. Some teams played 14 games. And, the more you keep extending this season, getting to 16, 17 games, if you're trying to play down all the way to one, I think would have an adverse effect on the kids, other sports in our buildings, things like that. So I think where it is right now is pretty good, and I like it.
I like it too. Okay, Coach, I just wanted to see that, because some people are like, I'm open-minded. I love to see where it can go. But you got when the youth go down to Florida, they play down to a national champion. Not only they play the regionals, they play the the conferences and the state championships. So yeah, that is a lot of football, even at the youth level. But at the same time, would you ever even at any point in time consider playing a team from out of state?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's something that I hope to do at some point. I don't know exactly when that's going to be. Obviously the main hurdle is finances. It's not cheap to go do something like that.
Right.
But many programs in this area have gone out of state, and they all spoke very highly of it. So it's something that I aspire to do at some point, but we'll see how it goes.
Would you say that Pennsylvania or Connecticut or Delaware would be one of those target
I'd be
areas?
open to anything. I really would, yeah.
Okay, good. Because I like to see how I'm a very big proponent of, elite, and not just elite challenges, but also different styles of play.
Yeah.
So if you can see somebody from, say, Columbia, South Carolina, coming all the way up to New Jersey to play you guys on a small ball level, by all means. Because I seen them guys play, even on their small schools, in their small schools. I see they have a 25. I was surprised to see a 25-second clock there.
Yeah.
And what surprised me last year was when I went out to Phillipsburg. They got the 25-second clock there. So I was like, wait a minute, it's not too many schools that have that out there.
Yeah.
So do you see that actually going to be at some point being rolled out to all schools and over a period of time?
I hope so. One of the things playing down at Rutgers is they have the 25-second clock. So quarterback knows what's on the clock at any time. There's no looking for an official to see who's counting and where we are in the count.
Right.
So I think that would definitely be a benefit if we were to start doing something like that in New Jersey.
Well, if that, there has been talks about it. This has not really been pressed upon because of the fact certain programs may have it, some programs don't want it because of the size of the schools or the size of the field. Do you think that, I'm looking around at your facility, even with the facility that you have currently, you can probably house close to 2,000 people easily.
Oh yeah, easily.
And without even going shoulder to shoulder, do you think that as New Jersey football is getting further and further on the map, and being that New Jersey is a top state, feeder state on all sports and all levels, do you think that the possibilities that with your program in particular, can you find a way that it can go even further beyond the points of this local and state and regionals? Do you think it could be a national power at one point or another?
That'd be,
that would be stretching it.
Yeah, we're happy with what we do and how we do it and where we are. To be talking about a national level, I don't think that's something that's even in our thought process at all.
But 28 wins, you're really up there like number 4 in the state. 4 in the country. Come on now.
8 in the country.
8th in the country for 28 wins. Come on. Come on.
If somebody's willing to pay the bill, we'll go anywhere. We'll play anybody.
8th in the country with the longest streak. You know what, Coach? I appreciate the time that you have came out here for. One other thing I want to ask you is, who are the other, outside your quarterback, and who are the other kids to look out for this year?
Coming back this year. So talked about the quarterback, Louis Anamone. We expect big things out of him. Linebacker, guard, Julian Casal is one of the best defensive players in the state of New Jersey. I believe that. Joey Marinello is going to be, he's been a starter on defense. This will be a 3-year starter for him. He's our starting running back last year. He's going to have another big year. Jake Gruzas, captain, wide receiver DB. We expect big things out of him. Moving down into the junior class, Mike Mignon is going to be a weapon on offense for us this year, as well as returning as a starter from last year's state championship team. Cole Bazerman, we feel really good about stepping in on the offensive line. Charlie Mail down on the offensive line. We got a couple young kids that we really like, looking forward to the future. Trying not to leave anybody out here. Sean Murtaugh, another name that we expect big things from. He was our kicker last year.
Yeah, he was pretty spot on last year.
He's going to be more involved both offensively and defensively. So again, we like what we have coming back. We're excited to get it going, and we'll see where it all ends up.
Has his range expanded since the last time I seen him, which was roughly about 45 to 50 yards?
Yeah, I don't know if he's that far. I think 45 is probably his top end right now. But yeah, he can kick the football.
He can kick that ball, right? Yeah. I expect that he's going to go further. I think I can see that he can probably get a couple of D1 offers.
Hopefully.
In the process.
Hopefully.
When I spoke to you back in was that May? You said that you had one FCS guy that you may be interested in seeing going that far. Who can you expand on that a little bit more?
That's the linebacker, Julian Casal.
Casal.
He's out there. He's in the camp circuit. I think tomorrow he's going to New Hampshire, if I'm not mistaken. So he's been to a bunch of camps this summer. And, his senior tape's going to speak for itself and let that process play out. But that's a guy that I believe is a FCS quality guy.
Well, Coach, I thank you very much for all the time that you have spent with me today. I hope that I can get out to at least one of your games this year. I'm looking at either the West Texas or Morris Catholic game, possibly the Hanover Park game. I'm not sure because by that time you pretty much will be in full throttle. One final question: what is it to be a Chief? What does it mean to be a Chief?
I mean, it's like I said, this is a very special place. Guys, like I said it before, we have a saying here: once a chief, always a chief. It's real. Once you're part of this program, you stay a part of it forever. Again, it's a great town. The support we get from whether it's administration, fans, whatever it might be, it makes this place really, really special, and I'm proud to be here.
Well, Coach, thank you very much for your time. Again, this is Kerry Porter coming to you live from Caldwell, New Jersey, Bonnell Field, Legends Park, with Coach Todd Romano, with the state leading champion, going for their third repeat, the Chiefs. It's been a pleasure to have you here, Coach.